Hey everyone, this is Alina from the Pioneer Valley Homestead. I am here today out in my garden to plant garlic. This is something that I had meant to do back in October, but we had so much rain and it was really cold and we had snow and then it was Halloween and so many things have happened that we just haven't had time or the availability to do it. So it's finally a little bit warm today, so I'm going to get out here and I am going to do it. I'm going to show you my raised bed, which is behind me here. This raised bed this summer, we had planted carrots and garlic and onions. So I know garlic you have to plant in the fall, but we figured that we would just try it for the heck of it this year in the spring and see how it went. Well, we got bigger cloves of garlic, but I mean, we didn't get heads of garlic. So what I am doing, and I will show you, is leaving my garlic bulbs that are already in the ground. So I've got my little shoots right here. These are the ones that I planted this spring. So I've got a few of them in here. So I'm going to just leave them in here and overwinter them and see what happens. But I'm going to plant the rest of this bed with garlic this year for next summer, early fall's harvest. So I have a few weeds in this bed that I'm just going to go ahead and dig out before I really get going. And then we'll kind of get it prepped. So just for fun, I actually want to dig up one of these little garlic things that we had, cloves that we had planted in the spring, because I have no idea what they look like now. I pulled them up, one or two of them up in the early fall, and they were still pretty small. And actually, you know what, these are still pretty small. But what's interesting, these actually look more like a clove than before. The first one I pulled up was just a tiny little ball. So I'm just going to plant these again and leave them, and we'll see what happens in the spring. It'll be interesting to see if there's a difference between what we've planted this spring and what I'm going to plant today. So I pretty much dug up most of this bed. I'm going to leave these in here, and then I'm kind of just going to plant other garlic cloves in where some of my existing ones are. But I did want to discuss garlic a little bit. So this is garlic that we bought from the grocery store. Not the way I wanted to do it, but it's what we have. So Aaron bought like 4 or 5 giant cloves of garlic, and we just split them up into just their little cloves, and you can see we've still got the little wrapper on them. And when we plant these, we're going to plant them with what is going to be the root side. That's going to go down into the soil, so that way when you have these nice little shoots, you've got your roots going down, and then the green part will grow up. So we're going to plant them just like that. Now these were bulbs that I had bought from Home Depot early in the spring. Here in New England, you can't find stuff to plant in the fall, in November, like it is now, or if you can, I just haven't made those connections yet as to where to find that kind of stuff. So we went with grocery store garlic. One thing that was important though is that one of our local grocery stores, they do sell locally grown garlic. So I know this was grown locally. I'm not sure what farm it came from. I asked him, he couldn't remember. But we know it's grown locally, so we know that it will grow here in this area. Luna just wants to play fetch, so that's what you keep hearing coming back and forth. She won't stop until she drops. So that's what we're gonna plant. And honestly, I wish I knew if this was soft neck or hard neck. I don't know either. I'm still learning this whole process. I will just be excited to get garlic from my own garden. So that's what I've got here, just this whole bag of cloves. These are giant cloves too, by the way, so we'll see what we get. This whole bed will be garlic next year, and I don't know, I'm kind of excited to plant it and see what we get. So I've got my little trenches dug, and really, I mean, this soil is nice and loose anyway because it was fresh from this year. So those are all dug out, and I'm just going to put my garlic in the trenches, and then I'll cover them up. The trenches are about 6 inches apart, and I'm going to plant these about 6 inches apart as well. That way they have enough room to grow and hopefully become big cloves of garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and get those planted, and we'll show you when I get there. One thing I noticed right off the bat when I started planting into these trenches, like, they weren't that deep. So, I mean, if you look, or maybe a knuckles deep or something, and these just weren't going in quite far enough. So I definitely dug these quite a bit deeper because I want to make sure that they're in there far enough that the frost isn't going to get to them. So those little trenches, these ones over here specifically, they're going to be a lot deeper. They'll probably be twice as deep. That way the garlic cloves are planted deep enough in order to get good root, and that way they can still be protected enough once it freezes. So now that I got my garlic in here, I'm just going to go ahead and cover it up. And then we'll come back and mulch this bed with some leaves once everything is all set to go, and then we'll leave it until spring. All right, these are my last 2 rows. So we're gonna get these planted and covered up. And let me tell you, it smells really good out here right now. I love the smell of garlic. It's making me want to do like a garlic chicken or something tonight. Got a big chicken from our harvest in July. Thawing in the sink right now in a big pot of water. So we're gonna do some chicken with some acorn squash that was from our garden this summer. I don't know, maybe potatoes or something like that, but we'll see. But anyways, it feels really good, at least to get this in. It just feels like the last couple of years we've been able to do so much more with like our garden, and really with everything, and I'm not sure why that is. I mean, I know we've had some, like, our kids are getting bigger. That's probably a huge part of it. I mean, and I've been home more, which is helpful too, but I think we've been just able to put a lot of infrastructure and stuff in place with our garden. And I mean, we've been here, it'll be 5 years next year, so I think it's maybe the compilation of time and kind of where we are in our life and just everything. But like, our garden this year was like the best garden that we've ever had. So I can't wait to see what next year will bring for us. But I'm really excited just to have garlic. Like I said, we had some this year, but this whole box was an experiment. And we got about 5 pounds of carrots out of it, which was really cool. But next year this box will be just garlic, and then we'll do another box with potatoes. That's going to be our next experiment, and then we'll do a third one with just carrots. So those ones, we'll see kind of where they end up going to, but there we go. All I've got left are just some of my papers and whatnot. So once we get some leaves, we will go ahead and just throw the leaves over the bed just to kind of dress it, keep everything nice and insulated, and then we'll go from there. But so that was my afternoon project, was just getting some garlic in the ground because I've been wanting to do it for like 3 weeks, but it's done. Tomorrow is actually processing day for our Cornish cross. Not necessarily my favorite part of homesteading. It's kind of the part that I guess I don't like doing. But I'll take a walk over and we'll show you our Cornish. They're definitely they're ready. They're huge. Oh my goodness. We stopped feeding them. We fed them this morning, but we haven't really fed them much else. So they're hungry, but it makes it a lot easier when you're processing if their crops and their stomachs aren't full of food. So we've got some big birds that are ready. We'll probably post a video with some of the highlights from processing day, but we've got 27 of these birds and there's only 2 of us that are going to be doing it tomorrow, so there won't be a ton that we'll be able to film, but we will show you at least some of it. That's about all that I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my little garlic planting. So thanks for watching. Just remember to like, subscribe, and share our videos, and we will see you next time. Bye.